Okay guys, we've got a pretty fun video set up for you here today. I have Garrett and Ian out here. I've set them up for a competition. Now, technically we've skewed the odds one way in favor of my best buddy Garrett, but Ian's a heck of a shot, so maybe he's got a chance here. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna show the difference between a couple different work streams for calculating your ballistic solution to get a shot in the field, and we're simulating some hunting scenarios. So we're gonna be shooting at just over 600 yards, which is a very common distance in the West when you're hunting. Like, if you can shoot 600, you're gonna be pretty successful in most of your opportunities. So what we're gonna do is I've set Ian up. He's got a Nexus, he's got one of our new bipods, he's got a Revic scope, and he actually does have a BDC turret on his scope, but we're gonna make him ignore those numbers, and he's stuck running an MOA solution. That means he has to calculate the ballistic solution and output it in an angle. We're gonna use MOA instead of MILRAD for this example. Ian is gonna use one of the Kestrel units with the Hornady Fordoff. We have these at our LRU shooting school. We're actually at the facility. A lot of people feel that this is a primary tool for getting solutions in the field. And we want to show you that maybe it's just a little bit too slow. So we're going to set up a hunting scenario. Garrett, on the other hand, Garrett is running one of our climber rifles. He's a polite gentleman. He has a suppressor, one of our 6s. And we're running a Leopold scope with one of our ballistic turrets. So that also has a BDC calibration and an MOA calibration as well. So all the guns that we set up always have a BDC and an MOA, so you have both, the best of both worlds. But Garrett is ignoring MOA, and he can only use his BDC solution on this, this test. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take a range, and I'm gonna call out the range to the target. Garrett is gonna apply his ballistic correction. Ian is gonna dial his ballistic correction in and apply his ballistic correction, and we're gonna evaluate the time that it takes to execute that shot. I'm gonna set up over here, I'm gonna grab the range, and we're gonna turn these guys loose. When I call the range, it's on. So I want to shoot target number 3. Ian, you're on number 3. Garrett, you're on number 4. You gotta hit the vitals on the target. If you guys spot your wind call, all bets are off. We gotta start from scratch. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, 6:35. Okay, good shooting both of you. Time, significant difference. Agreed?
Yep. Yes.
Like, would you take that and expect that to happen on a fast hunt in the field?
No, there's too much information there.
Yeah, way too much. Way too much time, right? It's not as easy to get your solutions. Okay, we've been doing BDC turrets forever, so I want everybody to know I really cheated the scenario to show how effective a BDC turret is. So let's do one that's more appropriate and more realistic. In the Revic Rangefinding Bino, when I push the button, I get the range. I also get a shoot to range that corrects for all the atmospheric conditions, incline, everything. And I also get the MOA elevation correction. So the way we're gonna set up this next scenario is, Ian, you have MOA. Garrett, you have range. So I'm gonna take the range as it calculates the MOA in the solution. I'm gonna give you the MOA solution. So it'll come right behind. As we expect, Ian's gonna be a lot more competitive this time. You guys ready?
Yep.
Okay. 6:35, 12.4. Okay, guys, that was a really evenly matched scenario. You can see that the BDC maybe doesn't have that great of an advantage when it's in a situation like that. But let me explain a couple hunting situations that really could show you how that BDC does give you an advantage. And sometimes just seconds, or sometimes having that backup set of data. I was just talking to one of our guides last week. I was trying to get him set up with one of our new Revic BLR10 binos. And so we were talking about data and ballistics on binos and stuff. And he was telling me about this husband and wife pair that were hunting, and the husband had a governor's tag. Big money for elk, big elk, and they were sitting on a big bull that they knew was in this patch of timber. They were waiting and waiting and waiting, and the wife needs to step over the hill, you know, to the ladies' room, and Bull steps out. Guide ranges him, it's like 6:35, and the guy's like, how many minutes? And the guy's like, I don't know, I have a rangefinder, I have yards. And so they're like, I need the binos that have the ballistics in them so I can get the minutes. The wife took him over the hill. They have no way to calculate the MOA solution. He didn't have a backup, didn't have a BDC ring, you know, didn't have his Kestrel, like nothing. All he had was that one set of data in MOA. And rather than guess, they passed. Bull never comes back out again. He wiped his butt on that tag. Like, there's one scenario. Another one would be what we're gonna set up right now, which is you're on an elk, you're in a clearing, you're dialed in on the distance. In this situation, we're gonna dial at the back side of the clearing, the bull's sitting there, and we're doped in, we've got our wind, we've got our range, we've got our ballistics, our correction, we're dialed in, and we're getting ready to go, and little Miss Pretty on the other side of the meadow gives out a cow call, and he starts trotting across the meadow. And he stops for a second on the close side of the meadow, and you got this little gap, 3 to 5 seconds to get that shot off. I've seen this scenario before. I've capitalized on this scenario. I put a big goal in the salt by being able to shoot quick and make it happen. Garrett is looking at that meadow, and he's able to size up and say, hey, he took this many steps, it's this wide, I'm gonna guess it's this distance. Okay guys, so remember the scenario is we're on 635, so you guys are dialed 635.
Yep.
The bull's out there, and then I'm gonna say moving, he's on the move, and then as soon as he stops, I say he stopped, and then I'll grab my binos, I'll grab a range, and give you the data.
Yep.
So Garrett, once I say stop, then you are free to fire, okay?
Yep.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Okay guys, bull looks good, he's broadside, everybody's dialed in. Wait a minute, he's moving, okay. Looks like he's gonna stop, okay, he stopped. 609, 11.5.
Oh! What?
Bull fight it?
Yeah.
Nice job.
Good shooting.
All right, guys, that was pretty fun. Thanks for participating, Ian, especially you, because I kind of set you up with some handicaps. I knew Garrett was going to outshoot you. So not just because he's a better shot, just because when you have the BDC turret, it gives you advantages in a lot of situations. What we tried to do with this scenario was demonstrate a couple different work streams, and I think we did a good job. The outcome was as I expected. If you have a really standard situation and lots of time, using a calculator to grab minutes is a totally reasonable way to do it. But if there's any time factor involved, or there's any possibility for equipment failure, not having backup ballistics available to you, having that BDC ring, you know, it's so easy to do it, but having that BDC ring, in addition to MOA, gives you a backup opportunity that is gonna save a hunt eventually. If you spend time in the field, I promise you, it will save your hunt. And on the new Revic scope, this is an Acura, this is a 5-25 Acura. It's our new scope that we were just launching. This scope has a BDC ring that is really simple, it's super changeable. I mean, you can do it with your fingers without disturbing your zero on your scope, and it costs 50 bucks. So there's no reason not to invest in that really simple backup. So thanks for watching us. I think we had a great video here. Throw some shade in the comments and we'll communicate about how to effectively create videos that teach these concepts that we try to show in our show, our videos, and in our long-range university training classes. Join us for the next one.